Swift and Tips podcast. Hello, everyone. My name is Pete, and this is Swift and Tips podcast. Welcome one more time to this new episode because today we have a special guest again with us. If you watched the previous episode, you will remember that we have Michaela in the podcast. And if you haven't seen any of the videos that we have for this podcast, you will find them in the description. So please take a look because I know, uh, I don't know, when I ask if people, uh, you know, took a look to the description, now nobody used that for some reason. But I mean, if you're one of those, please take a look because there are a lot of information and maybe other videos in my channel that maybe you would like to take a look. Before starting, also, I just wanted to share a few things that I don't know. I would like to talk with our special guest today about the Apple Vision Pro pre-order. I mean, we are recording this one day after that pre-order event, and oh my God, the inflation of those new devices will kill me. But well, that will be for later. Okay, so our special guest is uh, I will consider him my friend. He is one great guy that has many projects running on the go. One of them is Swift Anytime. You maybe know him. And recently, he launched his own book dedicated to help you with iOS interviews. So, welcome to the show, Mayank.
Thank you so much, first
How
of
are
all,
you?
for the introduction, Prit. And I'm doing great. And thanks once again for having me on your podcast.
Nice. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you for coming. So it has been a lot of time, a long time since we discussed about coming to the podcast. But well, it has been quite a busy time for us. But well, you're here, so I'm glad
Same here.
that you made it. Yeah. So as I uh, to talk to you before. One the thing with this podcast is to know the people in the iOS community that are making content and that can provide even more than just technical things. I mean, of course, we can talk about whatever you want, if you if you want, but I think I would like to know first with you about you because well we have talked in the past in your own podcast uh, so some time ago, but I would like to know how did you start in iOS. I'm curious because it's maybe not natural for most of us because Apple is too expensive, right? And you need to unless you're you have the resources or your parents, but if not it's quite of a transition. So could you talk to us, how did you
So
start?
I started iOS development back in 2016. I was doing my bachelor's of technology in like information technology. So that's an engineering degree here that we call BTech. And in my second year of
Mm-hmm.
engineering, there was a boot camp, a small boot camp that was organized in our college. And they had two options: either you can go with
Hmm.
Android development or iOS development. So we have a small Apple lab. We used to have like 32 Mac minis over there. And that was one of like
Hmm.
our college was one of the colleges that has this type of setup in our city. So I thought, why, like,
Hmm.
what should I go ahead with, either Android or iOS? So I brought this discussion to my home. I discussed this with my elder brother. He's already into IT. He's 5 years older than me. So
Oh.
I discussed the thing with him, and he suggested me that since Android is quite common, and you would find that the supply and demand is quite saturated in a way, not like actual saturated, but if you compare it with iOS development
Hmm.
in India specifically, around 2016 there was a high demand but low supply. So based on his suggestions, and I also discussed this thing with my mom because I generally discuss, yeah, my career and whatever I am trying to do with my career with my mom as well. So we three
Hmm.
had this discussion, and I decided to go ahead with iOS development bootcamp. So as you mentioned, Pit, that going with iOS development is
Okay.
quite an expensive decision to make, because you need to have a MacBook or any
Yeah.
form of Mac OS system, so that you can practice it at home as well, not
Yeah.
just at the boot camp offline. So again, at that point of time, my brother helped me out
Hmm.
since he was doing a job in IT, and he said that you go ahead with it, but make sure that you're serious about it. Then only I will, uh, take care of all the expenses that you need to make in order to get started with it. So he gifted me a MacBook Air and an iPhone as well. I used to have an Android phone before that. So he gifted me these two things so that I can get
Hmm.
started with my career in iOS development. And then I took it like quite seriously. So that's how it got started.
Nice. Wow. You were carrying your phone like, a piece of gold, I guess.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I know. Oh, wow. So I'm curious. So you
yeah,
talked to your mom about it. I, I'm curious because I mean, if I talk to my mom until this day, I think I'm sure she doesn't fully understand what I'm doing. I'm just sitting in my computer,
right, right,
typing the keyboard
right,
and doing something, right? And maybe just being
right.
lazy or playing games. But I don't know. Is your mom having knowledge of the mobile development or
So
development in
I think
general
my
or
mom and
so?
I share a special equation in a way, because whenever there is something happening in my career, uh, since the beginning, I would say, I
Hmm.
try to explain her that what that
Yeah.
thing is that I'm trying to do. I try to give her a 360 perspective so that she can understand what I'm trying to do, or whatever I'm pursuing is like, I try to make
Oh,
sense
okay.
of that thing
Okay.
to her as well, so that she can also suggest me based on her,
Yeah.
perspective. So I know that she is not aware about this
Hmm.
particular about these particular decisions 100% in terms of the knowledge that is required, but
Yeah.
she gets the context, and that's what that's what I try to do as well when I try to explain her.
Hmm.
Uh, and in that way, I think we
Okay.
could have and we have been having a great discussions, like yeah, that's the thing.
Nice, nice. No, no. I mean, just curious because maybe I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm glad to know people that maybe has, I don't know, 30,
Yeah,
40 years of experience, and they started, I don't know, in the 70s, 80s or so. It's like people that didn't have Google at that time or other things, and maybe from our perspective, it's like how they made it. I mean, it's just going to the library and take a look to books. It's not like
true
the
that, true that.
commodity we have right now. Even now that we have chat gpt and other stuff, is like, okay, those people are lazy just using the chat gpt. They're I don't even to go anywhere. They don't even to google and try to find the right website with the answer.
I mean, my
So,
father
oh,
is like that.
okay,
He's
things
not interested
things
at all in terms of whatever I'm doing in terms of the technology and all this stuff.
mm,
He's quite concerned about what I'm doing, but he's not
nice,
interested into knowing that how does this thing work or this domain operates. But yeah, it's contrary to what my mom
nice.
personally choose to go with. And you would be surprised to know that
Hmm.
I taught her how to use a laptop when I was in my 10th standard. So I tried to make her tech savvy along with me. It was not just me that was learning something new, but I tried that she should also go ahead
Hmm.
with the pace of this generation. However we are going, at least she can pick up
Uh-huh.
somewhere. So she knows video editing today, and she
Okay.
is also a creator on YouTube. She loves cooking, and she creates videos, and she publish it on YouTube as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? That's pretty interesting. Nice. Okay, I got it now. Why you have a YouTube channel too? Okay. Wow. I mean, I'm glad I'm hearing that. I mean, you
Yeah,
have a great
thanks.
family, so nice. Awesome, man. And I mean, designing iOS is maybe
Right.
one big step, right? One big decision in terms of money and other stuff. But later, what happened? I mean, what was your biggest challenge? And I'm sure if you had any, um how can I say it? uh, experience doing any other technologies or so that help you, or maybe you're literally starting from scratch with this mobile development in
I think
now in
learning
iOS?
iOS development has been tough for me because I got introduced to programming in my first year of engineering. So there was C and C++, that was taught to us.
Mm.
But it never
Hmm.
made sense to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I used to mug up the code at that point of time, just for the sake of the examinations that they would
Hmm.
take, right? So there were few code that they used to tell us that, okay, if you need to make a star shape, then you write it like that. And they used to teach us with whole, like with their complete passion, but I was not getting much out of it in terms of my interest as well. When,
Okay.
like, finally, when I came across
Hmm.
Swift as a language, uh, the instructor over there started with the same thing, telling us about the fundamentals in terms of, what is enum, struct, classes. And again, that became a little boring for me,
Hmm.
and I was trying my hard to understand, why are we learning this. But one day he finally did, like the instructor finally
Okay.
decided to introduce us to Xcode in that way, where he taught us about main dot storyboard and how you can drag and drop all the widgets over there. And that was something that made me
Hmm.
curious, because before that I was just learning struct, enum, classes, variables, lat, and this and that. But when I looked at
Hmm.
that storyboard,
Yeah.
and when we, when I built and run the project for the first time, uh, that gave me immediate result, and that was a surprising moment for me because I used to think that to develop such a thing, you have to do a lot of things in the backend. But when I saw that, okay, just by pulling
Oh,
some widgets from the
okay.
drawer and putting them in your storyboard, you can actually have that interface that we usually see in our mobile devices. I thought it's not that tough. So I think then
Hmm.
I gradually picked up learning things, all the things that were being taught to us, and things became a little easy for me.
Hmm.
It was a 30-day boot camp, so I didn't get too much out of it, but it definitely, uh,
Hmm.
you know, ignited, or I would say, you know, sort of got me curious about how I can go ahead with ice development. After those 30 days, I picked up learning from YouTube or some blog posts that used to be there at that point. So that's how I continued learning in ice development. And in college also, I was getting famous
Okay.
because out of those 32 people that attended that boot camp, only one or two were there, including me,
Uh-huh.
who actually continued with it. Because all the others,
Oh.
got busy with the placement preparation. Like in Indian colleges, you get uh, placement from college itself. The companies visit your college, and then you have to sit for the interviews. If you get shortlisted based on the test that they conduct as a first round, and then you get placed at a
Hmm.
certain company. So everyone start preparing for their interviews in their third year of engineering, because that's when the companies visit the campus and you have to prepare for them. But I was one of them who was not that much interested into sitting for the placements, because I was thinking that I will become iOS developer now, and all the companies that used to visit our college were not really having an opening for iOS developer. They used to have a generic role, software engineer, or maybe testing engineer, or QA engineer, and all of that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Hmm.
how it was.
I and yeah, that's interesting because I saw a friend some time ago. I actually he when I joined to a company, he started as an intern, and well, the interns had to decide. Okay, I would like to go for this way, maybe web, maybe mobile, etc. He decided iOS. He was the only guy that decided iOS. But the problem with that is that there were no so much clients to support, and there was a risk that okay, if you cannot find a client in this couple of months, you will have to leave. And or you can maybe learn Java and you know
I get it.
try to keep your job. So it's up to you. So uh, interestingly, he decided to stay in iOS, and until today, he's doing great. And actually, he's working with me now.
Wow,
I'm
that's
a
awesome.
manager, and he is one of the my team members. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I know, and it's interesting because I know him since this. garage since he's been just a seed, right, in the ground, and now he is a pretty strong engineer. He's one of the players of in our team, and it's like wow. So I think nobody will give you 2 cents at that time, since saying that poor guy, this guy is no will
Right.
not do anything, and but after all those challenges, he made it. So I'm curious. So are you thought that maybe will be complicated? I know that you said at the beginning that there were like no so maybe a lot of opportunity for iOS, but I don't know in reality how hard was for you for getting a job with the right skills for you.
For me, since when I was learning iOS development, I just mentioned that I started it in late
Hmm.
2016. Um, Only three
Hmm.
months into development, I started creating videos along the way. Like uh, one day, I was thinking that okay, I am
Oh,
watching a video of Jared Davidson. I was watching his video back then. I was thinking that this guy seems to be of
nice.
similar age, and he's creating a video on YouTube which I can watch, and the whole world can watch if they want to learn something. So I thought, why can't I also create a video
Hmm.
sitting here in my room? I like till that point I was like pretty comfortable with certain basics of iOS development topics like how to use text field,
Hmm.
how to have a segue, all of those basic topics. So I decided to make one video. I was also using Firebase back then, so I thought let's make a video how to use Firebase auth. I think that was my first video, if I'm correct. I cannot recall it like correctly right now, but yeah, I decided to go ahead with that, and that particular decision that I took back in 2016, late 2016, or maybe beginning of 2017, helped me in cracking iOS interviews as well at that point. Because my very first company where I got shortlisted, I applied to many companies first of all. It was not like when I applied to a certain company, they just called me back.
Hmm.
I applied to almost 20 or 25
Yeah.
companies in the first go as a fresher. And two or three company, came back with shortlisting and said, okay, now you can appear for the interview. So I remember when I
Hmm.
interviewed for the very first company, that was a startup here in Delhi NCR in India. uh, the interviewer seems to
Hmm.
be quite experienced with the type of question he was trying to ask me. But when I told him that, I also have a
Hmm.
YouTube channel where I create basic videos, he said, "Oh, wow, tell me your channel's name." And he picked up his phone and, started looking for my YouTube channel. And he finally, found it and started watching
Hmm.
one of the videos that I created. And along with that, he gave me a
Nice.
small coding problem. I cannot recall the exact problem right now, but he gave me a small coding problem and said, "You just solve it." And he started watching the video, and I could hear that. So that was quite embarrassing
Ah.
and quite interesting to me because I was thinking, I don't know what he's going to think
Mhm.
about me after watching this video. But after watching that video
Mhm.
and me solving that coding problem, he said, "I'm good with your interviewing round, and it's a go ahead from my side. Do not tell the HR right now, but it's a go ahead from my side, and he'll get the call for the next round soon." And I was quite happy. I I packed my bags and I
Wow.
went back.
That's nice. Wow. Your YouTube
Yeah,
channel
that
saved your
actually
life.
started my
Nice.
life into as development, I would say, as a professional developer. Yeah,
Wow, wow. That's great. And yeah, so and you said you started iOS in 2016. Because by the way, I fully become iOS dev at that time.
that's
So
awesome.
good for that. And you also started doing a YouTube, creating a YouTube channel in the
Yeah,
same year. Am I correct? So, wow. I mean, especially because you just started, and I don't know if to me after many years and deciding that I want to express my or share my knowledge with others, it's quite, I don't know, complicated. Feel you feel like maybe you are underprepared or so. You just said, no, let's do it. That's probably what I or share what I know. That's
nice.
awesome, man. So huge congrats to that, because that's a great decision, and it's just maybe a learning from anyone else, listening also, or watching this video. So that you can start at any time, like your name,
Anytime.
anytime. So
Yeah,
because it's what it is. It's a
right.
never ending process. So
I
wow,
think I think today when we think about
great.
starting a
So
YouTube channel, uh, we judge ourselves a lot
mhm,
because the word today is connected too much. If you compare it with back in 2016, I don't think the Twitter community was that big at
mhm,
that time. I don't think the LinkedIn was a thing back then in that way, like
yeah,
how it is today. And that whole
yeah,
thing uh, didn't bother me at all. I was not judging myself that okay, if I put a video out on YouTube, then how would the people respond? Because I didn't know who these people are. Today, you know
yeah.
who these people might be, right? So
Hmm,
I think that's
hmm,
a big
yeah.
difference why I was not that afraid of putting me out in public and making a video. It's quite tough today. That's definite. Like that's
Wow.
definitely true.
Why do you think is tough? I mean, if someone wants to start a YouTube channel in 2024, why is tough? Or what will be the
There would be
challenge?
zero challenges except for your own mindset. Like when we start making a video, we always have a bubble around
Mm-hmm,
us where we think that people are going to judge us. Back then, I didn't had anyone in my mind
hmm,
that could judge me. But today, when I think of creating a video again on YouTube, I try to make sure that that's my 100% when I make that video. Otherwise, there are a lot of people in the community that are going to pinpoint a certain timestamp in your video and say that, okay, this was, wrong, or you could have done this at this point, or anything. So that's what I'm saying. This is not a challenge, so to say, but this is how we usually think as human, I believe. Yeah. So, as a
okay.
message from my side,
Yeah.
no blockers at all. You just go ahead with creating a
Mhm,
video because it's always your first video uh, that decides if you want to actually put out more videos or not. When you make your first video, if you are feeling good about that, then you
mhm.
just go ahead with it. When you put your first video out and you feel like I should not have done that, then just stop. Because I don't recommend and everyone to become a creator. It's
Okay.
more or it's more or less like a thing that needs to be treated as something that you enjoy as well. Just don't do it for the sake of doing it. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Totally agree with you. You need to learn. I mean, you need to
yeah,
learn to enjoy the
yeah.
process of content creation because because as you know, it's
Sometimes
hard sometimes. But I think in general, right? It's like everything in the life. I mean, if you become a software developer, it's not because I want to earn money, right? Because you maybe will have
true.
hard days, right? And you need to learn to enjoy your experience, your process, even when those days happen. Um, but yeah, I think you got an awesome point. But so far, what do you think in terms of the of your YouTube channel, for example, or what I don't know, what is the status of your content so far? How do you feel about it? Do you feel tired? Do you feel that okay, I want to leave this now and do other thing, or I don't know, to tell me.
I think with YouTube, I keep leaving YouTube. You can find my YouTube channel. You will find that there are huge gaps in between. So
Hmm,
I try to, or whenever
hmm,
I come to YouTube, I try to, uh, you know, have a consistency with what I create. And if I figure that, okay, maybe I have a
okay,
consistency, but I'm not really enjoying it, then I stop doing it. So YouTube as a platform,
okay,
I generally use it as something that I do for interest rather than doing it for a return or
hmm,
something. Because I got the returns in the very beginning itself. So
okay,
now I think that how can I learn more?
hmm,
And
hmm,
then you have a number of ways
okay,
to share it as well. It's not just the YouTube. And that's how I think about it. And that's what I try to do. Yeah.
okay. Where's your best way to learn? Watch videos, reading
I'm a
documentation,
video guy, so
talking
I
with
first go with
someone.
videos. And once I get a grasp of the
Oh,
topic, then I get into either a documentation or maybe somebody's article. Yeah,
that's nice. I and that's a good part of the content creation. There are
yeah.
many ways to learn, and I mean, you decide what to learn. So, no, awesome, awesome for sharing that YouTube experience. So definitely, we later we do we should do something more
Definitely.
technical than just a podcast. Yeah. Uh, but speaking of technical stuff, I I'm curious, man, because last year, if I'm not wrong, uh, you launched a book for iOS interviews, 100 answered questions about iOS interviews. I'm really curious to know how you made that book. I mean, how did you choose those uh, questions or so, and how complicated is thinking about, oh, I want to make a book, and just re- launching that book to everyone.
Okay, that
Could you
were too many
talk
questions,
to
but
us
I
about
try
it?
to sum it up into one answer. So I'll take your time.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
So,
yeah, sure.
um, how did we come up with the idea of creating a book? First of all, addressing that point. Um, I have been doing Swift Anytime as a company. Like I started back in 2021, October 2021 to be precise. We started as a community, and we are shaping us like we are shaping it up as a not just a community but as a company as well. So back then I was doing a job. I was like doing great with
Okay,
my career in that terms of having a stability in life, both professionally and personally. Then I decided to go ahead with starting this community called Swift Anytime. So we had this goal that uh, why we are starting Swift Anytime, because we want to contribute to this community. We already have many players who are trying to do that, and we will become one of them, and we'll try to do our best. Right? That's like what we try to do. We try to do our best. Otherwise, we
okay.
don't do it. So that's how we think about it. Uh,
Yeah,
two
sure.
years into
Hmm.
the company, Swift Anytime, I left my job last year in January, uh, and I decided to go ahead with Swift Anytime full time. So, uh, so that was a big decision for
Okay.
me. And when you start getting into entrepreneurship and you decide to quit your job full time, uh, then you have to take care of n number of
Hmm.
things. You get the responsibility of your team that you have to pay
Yeah.
each month. You get responsibility of paying for the softwares that you use each month. You sometimes get unexpected expenses in the whole year, and that happened to me as well. I was no exception to that as well. And and yeah, last year I also got
Hmm.
married, so it was a big year for me. Thank you
Congratulations.
so much. It was a big year for me in that way
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I took two big decisions: leaving my job and deciding to go ahead with entrepreneurship
Hmm.
full time, and deciding to get into a full time commitment as well, which is called marriage. So uh,
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
actually taught me that just saying that I'm going to do entrepreneurship or I'm going to do a startup is not easy decision. You have to make sure that there is a healthy cash inflow into the company so that you can pay your bills, your employees salary, as well
Hmm.
as all the softwares that you use. And that was not really happening by the end of
Hmm.
last year, which is December 2023. No, no, not December 2023. It was like
Hmm.
December 2022. Okay, because we released the book last year, like it's 2024 already.
Okay.
So, so
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
that was
Yeah.
something that happened, and then I sat with my team, and we were thinking of releasing the very first thing that we will monetize this time, because for first 2 years we didn't monetize
Okay.
anything that we did, either our virtual sessions, either our personal one-on-one sessions, anything. Like whatever we were giving it for free. We didn't charge anyone for any single thing for
Hmm.
first 2 years. But that taught me that
Hmm.
if I really want to do it for a long period of time, then we'll have to figure out something that also keeps the company alive in terms of the finances, right?
Yeah,
So when I
for
sat
sure. Yeah.
with my team, we had different ideas. Somebody said that we can create. something around maybe core data. Somebody said we can do something with Swift UI. Someone said, something else. But there was one common point that we all had, that the market is not
Mhm.
doing great overall in the IT industry, and we should definitely do something that can help the people out there. So then this idea of bringing a
Mhm.
product that can actually add value to people's life as a developer, which is called cracking the ice interview in our way. So we decided to make a book that can help people to crack their interviews, and they can get to know 99% of the things that they are going to be asked in that interview round. So that was our intention behind creating this book. We took like 1 week to decide if we really want to go ahead with this or not. When the whole team said, okay, we feel confident
Mhm.
about what we want to do, then we said, okay, now let's do it. Okay, so that's how we decided to go ahead with
Okay.
creating something. And we didn't want it to be something that is just another thing in the community. We wanted it to be something that is really very valued.
How how can you excuse me? Uh, how can you
Yeah,
measure
now
the
I'm coming
value?
to that point.
That's a
So
good
how can
question.
we make sure that it's really
Okay.
a high value product, right? And that's where our whole
Mhm.
community or our contributors angle come in the picture. So we thought that
Mhm.
we are a team of say 5 6 people. We can come up with our own perspective and experiences of how interview is conducted in iOS community. Like a general iOS interview is conducted. How is that conducted?
Mhm.
But we thought that we all together, which we are 6 people, make a very limited or add a very limited perspective to how can this book or a course can shape up. So we thought, why not we, uh,
Mhm.
you know, ask our friends in the community, not just in India, but all over the world. Maybe pick 2 people from each country.
Mhm.
That was quite ambitious, each country. But we thought that okay,
Yeah.
let's explore who all are there in our friends community in iOS, and try to ask them if they can give their 1 hour to us to discuss about iOS interviews in their perspective. So we made a list of people that we wanted to talk to.
Okay.
We wrote a message to each one of them. Okay, me, all my team members, they all had their
Mhm.
own friends in the communities. So we all wrote messages to them, asking them to give their 1 hour to us because we want to create something in iOS interviews. Some of them didn't reply. Some of them said if they don't have time, and some said, why not? Let's do it. So overall,
Awesome.
there were like
Hmm.
more than 50 people who said yes to us out of like 120 people that we approached.
Mhm.
So so almost
Wow.
50
Okay.
52 people
Almost a
said,
half.
okay, let's do it. And we were quite happy with that as well, because having either, even one person from US, or maybe Mexico, or maybe somebody sitting in Brazil, is enough to get
Mhm.
the perspective of, what they think about the iOS development interviews. So that's how we
Mhm.
made sure that we can bring in the world level quality to this product. It's not just something that is coming from uh, a Indian developer sitting in New Delhi. It should be something that is coming from all over the world into one place.
So that's nice, Mayank. I think first off, deciding to uh, you know go to found your own company and do it by your own with your own resources, it's massive. I don't think anyone can do that. Just a few people. Yeah, and you need to learn a lot of things, and you will, you know learn over time and make mistakes and things like that. So I really, I'm proud of you, man,
Thank you so much.
because all of that, it's not easy. Yeah. I mean, I know I cannot even consider entrepreneur or so, but I have a lot of friends that are doing that, and it's quite challenging. So, but uh, and also, founding the way to collaborating with all those people to make this book is also
Yeah.
challenging, coordinating even I mean, your expectation was
Yeah.
120, right? And I mean, I cannot even think about if the 100% of people decided, hey, yes, let me
maybe
collaborate.
that's a maybe that's a positive thing that
Locality.
happened.
So yeah, right. So but yeah, I know, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, there were people that help you. I hope
Yes,
I
you
was
were
one of
definitely,
those.
and I think
um
I will
but
always be, and I'm gonna be really grateful to all those who said yes, because it's really hard for anyone to believe in somebody. Yeah, can you hear me
Mayank,
now?
you
Oh, I
cut
see.
for a few
Okay, I was
seconds.
not saying something very important, so you can go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, 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 go
And I was
ahead.
just saying
No
that,
problem.
I will always be, and I'm gonna be, because we will be collaborating again in future for sure. Grateful to all the people who have contributed to the book, including you, Pitt. Thank you so much. And I think that's
No,
really
thank you.
special
It's
for
a
us,
pleasure.
because we are new to everyone in the community right now. If you compare us with anyone in the community who
Hmm.
have been doing things for last 5 or 10 years, then people would say, why you, or why should I collaborate with you? But when you
Hmm.
have somebody who believe in you when you are very new to the community, and they say yes to you, I think that's an emotional thing for us, to be very precise and open on this. The whole team was really happy with all the responses we
Hmm.
got from all our contributors, and I think we will always remember this, and we will never, you know, leave their hands whenever they need us. So that's what we think about it.
No, no, definitely. I think I don't know who said that, but it's like a, a way of thinking I love to follow. That is, try to help as many people as you want, and then eventually those people will help you.
That's so true.
I mean, not
Yeah,
expecting that they will help you, but just try to help
right,
because you want to help, right? And that's naturally you will receive
right.
help when you need it, even if you didn't ask for that. So, and that's a way of maybe or human
Maybe.
being works. So, but
Right,
I'm glad to do that. So, I mean, anytime. And so I really appreciate not only you but
right.
also the community of the people that will read that book and contributing to finding
Yeah,
a better job or your first job or what do you need to expect
right.
in an interview. um yeah, and speaking of the book again, uh one you first off, how do you decide it? uh all those questions, because I mean
Yeah,
100
for sure.
could be a lot, but maybe it depends. So I mean, how did you choose the topics? Because there are a lot of topics that we can learn, and the technology
Right.
is moving forward. And I don't know, I mean, I don't know if you decide, I mean, if you thought about it. So tell us how was your process of choosing the right
That's
question.
pretty interesting, because ultimately, when we talk to all the contributors, and some of them also reviewed the book, we had almost
Hmm.
around 362 questions, uh, which were like the best questions according to all the contributors, and including our team, because we were just looking forward to 10 top questions
Okay.
that are on the top of your head, that you think will be the best questions that you could ever ask to anyone who's a candidate.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
out of these 362 or 63 questions, we had to filter them down to 100 questions, because you can maybe have 5,000 questions, but you cannot inculcate all of them in a single book,
Yeah.
right? So to filter
Hmm.
them
Hmm.
down, we
Yeah.
first decided what will be the chapters of our book. So we have around 16 chapters, and
Okay.
all those 16 chapters include 99.9% of the topics that are important to an IS interview.
What
For
are the
example,
topics,
you
for
have
example?
modularization, right? That's something which is an
Okay.
intermediate sort of thing, not for beginners. One topic is, for example,
Hmm.
we have error handling. There are questions around error handling. Okay. So these, like memory
Hmm.
handling, like how do you handle the memory leaks and everything. There could be a separate section for that. So we had these type of chapters,
Yeah.
and for each chapter we had like 10, 12 questions that we had to filter out of that 362 questions. And that particular filtering was done
Hmm.
by the most experienced developer in our team. So we went with his
Okay.
experience, not his perspective, because he has worked with some great companies in India that are at scale, and we believed in his knowledge when it came down to filtering down those
Okay.
questions. So that was
Hmm.
uh, not really a tough thing to do for us, because we already had the best question, the cream
Hmm.
of all. And out of that cream, you just have to pick up
Hmm.
that first layer so that you can serve it to your people.
If you go right now to make an iOS interview, probably you already know the answers, right? I mean, the questions that you will receive. So it's like, okay, throw them away.
I sometimes feel that
Yeah, yeah.
if in future, if someday I sit for an iOS interview, and if I fail to answer a certain question, then the interviewer will ask me that you are the same guy, like you are the same guy who released the Crack in the iOS interview book, and you're not able to answer me that question. So now I'm myself scared of
You, oops.
giving any interviews. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. You're banned. Yeah. So and once you decided, I mean, you
yeah.
collaborate with those people and you have everything, all the content ready. How was the
I think
launch?
we didn't had all the content ready because we only asked people for the questions, not for the answers along with it.
Okay.
So we, as a whole
Okay.
team at Swift and Time, worked on all the answers ourselves because we wanted that
Hmm.
all the answers are coming from the right source. And if you have multiple sources, then there could be a case of polluting the quality of the book. So we worked
Hmm.
on each question one step at a time. We took that in that way, and it took almost like 2.5 months to complete all the answers and getting them reviewed at least once. And once we reviewed
Okay.
everything
Okay.
in terms of questions and answers, we decided that it can go for the next review cycle, which is review two. And meanwhile, we
Hmm.
launched the pre-release of the book. So because we
Hmm.
knew that okay, the book is almost complete
Got
and
it.
now it needs some more refining. So we are good to say that we can now pre-release the book. So that's how we went with
Okay.
planning and going ahead with the launch. So pre-release was max a 1 month period for us. We decided to go with the launch in next 1 month once we start the pre-release. So we took the next 1 month to get the review two done as well as all the corrections done
Hmm.
for that as well. And finally came the part where we decided to
Okay.
um, have a cover for the book. So design is last for us in that way.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
it
How was
was
that? I mean,
so we have a designer in our team, and this guy is not
mhm.
really that much technical because he mostly design websites. Like his full time is designing websites, but
Okay.
since he's good with design and he like to work
Okay.
with us, so therefore he's in our team. So we
Nice.
always throw random ideas to him, and then he come up with something that he thinks can really match with what we are trying to explain to him. So we had like 6, 7 samples that
Hmm.
he made, and we picked one which we thought was looking good based on a mutual consensus of the team. And we didn't put that much time into
Hmm.
deciding these things because um, my funda, or you can say mantra, is that your core focus should be on where the value exists. The value doesn't exist in the book cover.
Hmm.
Maybe the
Yeah,
value
yeah, yeah.
exists in
Totally.
naming the book, but not in the book cover, definitely. So we put
Mm-hmm.
more effort into where the value exists. That's why we didn't spend too much time into deciding the design and everything. And the pre-release and the release was a new thing for us because it was our very first product, as you already know. So that had
Hmm.
few hiccups in between in terms of planning the email automation, planning how should we go ahead with promotions, what is marketing. We had to figure it out ourselves. So there were a lot of things
Yeah.
on the table that we were learning on the go and trying to do it in real life as well. Some worked, some didn't work. We had our own learnings that we are going to put into the next release of the book, maybe in next time, in few in in the next version that is going to come up this year. So
Hmm.
yeah, this was our
Hmm.
experience in brief, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds fun. A lot of things. And actually, one question for you is, so you work all the marketing by your own, or you hire or partner with anyone else that do marketing?
The ultimate decision is taken by me, I would say, to be open about it. But as far as the advisory
Okay.
part is concerned, I have few seniors of mine with whom I have worked in the past. So they advise us with
Hmm.
how you can go about it. Then we have a discussion around that. And
Okay.
sometimes when I feel that this is more of a marketing thing, and we as developer do not like that much marketing or that much cliche things. So sometimes I disagree with them, sometimes I do agree
Okay.
with them. Most of the time, I think I disagree with them on certain things because I do not like conventional
Okay.
marketing, right? And I think they also understand this thing. This is our like we are friends, so they understand why I'm saying that I am not liking this approach of going with this way or that way. So we do have an advisory board
Hmm.
in terms of marketing, but yeah, we keep it quite developer friendly marketing, not marketing.
Okay. W- okay, that's interesting. So if I want to launch a product, a book, or anything related to a course, or anything related to developers, I mean, what do you think will be a good practice for that kind of audience?
Good practice in the sense like, can you be more precise about the question?
Or for example, you mentioned about you don't like
Right,
the traditional marketing because your focus is more
right.
oriented to developers. But I don't know. I mean, what is the difference? What's something that developers don't like to see in advertisements or so?
I think it's more of like your like you can tell this from your own experience, bit to be honest. When you read a line and that
Hmm.
line sounds more explicit to you, as if somebody is trying to sell you something, you can tell, right?
Hmm.
And when there is something that is telling you that we do this and that, and this thing can help you in this way, so you can make your decision, you can
Hmm.
buy it if you want. These many people have bought it,
Okay.
and if you like, you can also bought it, like buy it. So that's the main difference for
Hmm.
me in terms of conventional and non-conventional marketing. Conventional marketing is more of like buy it now, and non-conventional is the
Hmm.
one where you say
Okay.
that uh, we have sold these many copies, our people got this type of result, and you can buy it now if you like.
Hmm. Okay, I understand. Yeah, yeah. It's like you know, yeah, showing that this is valuable for you, but it's not like, hey, you need to buy this thing now because it will be the best thing in your life. So it's like more avoiding the
I think the
clickbaiting. I don't
conventional
know if I
marketing is
have
more
to
of
say it in
a
that way.
uh, I could not say wrong marketing because it is actually working for a lot of companies in the world. But conventional marketing is more uh, overhyped in terms of its messaging. The promises that the conventional marketing
Okay.
makes are not really that much honest, so to say. Whereas the approach that
Hmm.
we try to take is more
Okay.
honest in terms of what you can expect from us. We don't try to overcommit with what we are trying to sell you.
Hmm.
So that's the main difference, I guess. There is no a perfect framework of how I can differentiate between the two. It's more of an internal thing that we do that, okay, this is how you
Hmm.
have recommended it, but I think we
Hmm.
can tweak it in this way so that it doesn't sound marketing type of thing. Yeah.
Hmm. No, no, I understand. I definitely like that. So I don't know if when I go to Costco, I always see a guy that is trying to selling me an AT&T plan, but it's approaching in a conventional way, and it's like, get away from me. I'm sorry, but I don't like the way. So because it's when someone is
Right.
trying to selling you something because it's for their
Benefit.
own benefit, but not your benefit or
Yeah.
not what you are looking for. It's like putting a
Yeah.
barrier in front of you, or at least it's in my experience like what I created for me, right? I don't want to someone try to me to fool me or scam me or things like that. But when clearly want to help people, and of course, I mean, this is business, but in the way of I'm offering help, and this is
Right.
giving
Right.
results already. So
That's completely
it's a
different.
different approach. So yeah,
Also,
yeah,
like
like that.
when it
Hmm.
comes to make, taking a decision for marketing or say for anything that goes out in public, earlier I used to be more lenient with,
Yeah.
maybe this person can take care of releasing this, or that person can take care of the responsibility of releasing that. But now I'm more serious about whatever goes out in public from our handles. Um, Earlier, I used to think that,
Hmm.
okay, I think this person can take this responsibility, but ultimately, as a small team, I think it's always best to have a filter before you release something.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's good. Yeah,
yeah.
having different eyes on that. Very, very nice. So, and once you made all those things, marketing, all the content, and so how was the actual launch? I mean, did you expect the reaction that you got, or was way more than expected, or how was the
When
experience?
we started the pre-release, which we call pre-order, right? Um
Hmm.
when we got the very first order that day, like when we released the pre-order and we got our very first customer, we started it on Gumroad first. Like me and the whole
Hmm.
team, my wife, we were all just filled up with that happiness that, okay, we got our very first customer, right? I was like jumping in my own head. I was
Nice.
feeling like that at that point. I called my mom. I was
Yeah,
sitting in another space,
yeah.
and I called my mom and told her that, we got our very first customer today, and everyone was happy to hear that.
Nice.
So I think that was unbeatable experience. Uh, and whenever there was a second
Mhm.
sale, third sale, fourth sale, I got the same feeling out of it. Today, even today, when I get a sale and
Mhm.
I get a meal for that, I immediately start feeling happy. So so yeah, that's a great
Nice.
feeling first of all, and the response that we got for the pre-release was completely unexpected. I was thinking that maybe
Mhm.
few people will come across and maybe one or two of them will buy it, but we figured that
Mhm.
people really showed us a lot of love, and we always try to make sure that the love and the support and the belief that they have tried to put in us, uh, we always try to justify it, like
Mhm.
by all means. So, so yeah, the pre-release plus the main launch, we got unexpected response, which was positive in every way. And till today, uh, we get
Mhm.
feedbacks, we get the experiences that they have had with the book and the interviews, all of these things that comes around us in terms of we got the job, or maybe I said in this interview, and these two three questions were the same questions that are written in the book that they asked me, and we always feel happy about that. So uh, I think it's still a new
Nice.
thing for us. We are trying to being normal
Mhm.
with it. I think it
Yeah,
will
yeah.
take next 1 year to
Mhm.
be normal, or maybe it will take years to get normal with how this feeling really, uh, you know, come around us and how we feel about it. Yeah,
Oh, nice, nice. I'm seeing your face now, and yeah, you're really happy with this. So
thank you so much.
congratulations for all this awesome launch, and yeah, and for helping the community. We need more people like you, man. So and people like entrepreneurs that really are challenging themselves every day, making great products, great services for the community and the people in general. So yeah, definitely, it's awesome, that you're sharing all of this
Thank
with
you so
us.
much.
I just have one last question regarding all this project and all the entrepreneurship that you're doing. If there is someone that is watching us or listening us, that is or they are thinking, oh, I would like to become an entrepreneur, what would you think is the best way to do it, or what would you recommend to me and to them to start?
I think the one thing that everyone should take care of when they start off with their entrepreneurship journey is that uh, this space is not really that great that you think when you think of starting a startup or maybe anything like that. It has been more
Hmm.
glorified, and there's a lot of glamour that you see on Twitter around uh, building a startup or maybe raising a funding and whatnot. Uh, Real experience,
Hmm.
it's not that great. There will be days when you will think that why did you take this decision, and definitely there will be days when you will feel like
Okay.
this is why I made this decision. So one thing that you should always
Okay.
take care of is, uh, apart from this particular thing that I just mentioned, is that your finances are doing well. If your finances are, not really great, if you do not have enough funds in your bank account, or if you do not have a future guarantee of raising fund or anything like that, uh, I would highly recommend that do not quit your full-time job if you are doing one, or do not, just get
Hmm.
away with whatever income you are getting at that point, because it's very important. The finances are
Hmm.
really very important to keep your company alive. If there are no finances, there is no company. I was
Absolutely.
having this conversation
That's
once with
that's a good that's a good advice.
yeah, I was having this conversation once with Sean Allen as well, and he even shared almost a similar
Mhm.
experience. He said that one thing that he keeps a track of and he keeps take care of is that he always have a financial pipeline inflow, so that nothing gets
Okay.
shut down because of this reason. Sometimes people make
Hmm.
impulsive decision of,
You need
yeah,
to have. No, sorry, sorry. Just gonna say that you need to have multiple plan Bs.
either plan Bs, or you never leave that inflow, and along with that you try to build something until it gets
Hmm.
profitable, or it gets to a stage where it's going to be profitable, right?
Yeah.
When you
Hmm.
start from a state where you are in no profits, or even you have not released your product, that's a really tough stage to survive, because you have to manage all your
Yeah.
expenses, not just your expenses, if you have a team as well, and all the softwares that you are using, or maybe XYZ things that you do. um, that's not really a great life. Yes.
It's really stressful.
Yeah,
I will say,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I can feel it.
it's like that.
Yeah.
Now I have get
Yeah.
normalized with
So I.
how this life feels like. Earlier I used to be very stressed with how will I make it for this month, and how will I make it for the people that work with us. Things are getting more stable as we are moving ahead in the journey, and we as the leaders of the team are also learning how to deal with this pressure. I was completely uh,
Mhm.
inexperienced with whatever happens in this particular domain. So I believe we have come
Mhm.
not a long way, but we have definitely learned something in last 2 years.
Mhm. No, I again, congrats, man. I think all the effort you have done, you and your team,
Thank you so much.
it's massive, and all the pressure that you also need to. I mean, you that you are leading all of this, it's quite complex. It's again, it's not for anyone, or at least not expecting that it will be like
Yeah,
walking in the
yeah,
park. There are a lot of things that are undiscovered, and maybe one of your goals, or I mean part of your job, is just
right,
figuring out
right.
things, solving problems, but not only, so that's the issue, not only solve problems. It's more than that. It's marketing issues, sales issues, team issues, etc., etc., a lot of things, and not even talking about financial issues. So um yeah, I remember one interview from that someone made
Uh-huh.
for Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs said, uh, "Please don't found a company, don't found a startup, unless you have a
Right.
good reason. You have unless it's your last chance, because definitely you want to share something to the world that will worth every single
Makes sense.
penny, every single
Yeah,
second in your life. So not because the money. Of course, the money is something that will drive
true.
more things, but it shouldn't be in the life anyway. It shouldn't be the
Yeah,
driving of your life, because at the end, it will
that's true.
pointless,
And
right?
having all this, maybe I cannot really compare myself with any, big names out there, but having all the pressure that we have been facing
Mhm.
and we have faced so far, if I didn't have any reason behind why I'm doing this, I don't think I would be able to survive this long. So I
Yeah,
completely agree with whatever you just said.
it's going back to
Right,
learn to enjoy the
right,
process
right.
that we discussed
Definitely.
earlier. Nice. Very nice, Mayank. So we are running out of time. So I definitely think that I will invite you later, wherever you can. Yeah, it will be
For
your
sure.
home, because we have a lot of things to discuss. Um, but I would like to close. I mean, moving, change a little bit the topic with one last question. Um, because we are recording this one day after Apple
Right,
launches the pre-order for the Apple Vision Pro, and if you remember, they announced that in 20 in
right.
yeah WWDC 23. um and well, I don't know if you have seen, it's only available for US as far as I know, but I don't know if you, just for curiosity, just take a look took a look to the pre-order page or so. But what do you think about the Apple Vision Pro? Do you think it's something that definitely will revolutionize, like iOS and iPhone did in 2007, or it's just a fashion thing that will happen over time? What do you think in your experience?
Uh, I really think that it can definitely revolutionize the way we have been working with applications, right? The way we have been experiencing the
Mhm.
applications. Uh, Apart from this, I
Okay.
don't think uh, there is a hype about Vision OS that much. So when there is no hype about something, I
Mhm.
feel like that technology can really have a good chance of working. Because mostly we find in our community, in the whole tech community, I'm saying, whenever there is a great hype of something,
Mhm.
most of the times it becomes it's a scam sort of thing. Like we had a hype about Web3, crypto, and all that,
Mm.
and today you can see what's happening with Web3 space.
Mm.
Uh, we have a hype about AI, right?
Oh.
Apart from Chat GPT, I don't
Mhm.
think you would also be using anything in terms of AI tools. There are hundreds of thousands of tools
Yeah.
in today's time, and you always get to see them either on Twitter or maybe Instagram Reels if you scroll that. But I really ask myself, who are the real users that are using these tools? Apart from having millions of views on those
Uh-huh.
reels or shorts, whatever these guys create. For Vision
Mhm.
OS, I haven't seen that much hype, but real people talking about real things. So that's why I believe more in Vision OS as a complete operating system and the experience that it brings into the Apple ecosystem. And whenever Apple comes up with something, uh, they always put efforts into making that decision. I personally think so. Definitely they do that. I mean, Apple is not something like Apple team
Yeah.
is not a you know immature team that just creates something and then thinks how it should work. They definitely have figured it out. They
Yeah.
always have a purpose behind what they create and what they release. So this particular technology
Hmm.
seems very promising to me. For now, I'm not really into exploring it, though one of my team member is doing that.
Hmm.
So you will, soon see some articles maybe coming out. But uh, me personally, I haven't been exploring
Hmm.
it that much because I want this technology to become a little more matured in terms of its adoption. Uh,
Yeah, that's
and
great.
I don't enter into
Hmm.
spaces that are too new. That's my personal choice. uh, be it for AI,
Okay.
Web3, or in like for Apple specifically, Vision OS. I'll explore it maybe later this year,
Hmm.
but I did not really have plans to explore it
Hmm.
soon in next coming months. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I know the answer for this, but will you buy the Apple Vision Pro soon?
For now, I think it's not available for our region. But it if it comes at a
Hmm.
affordable price for our region, affordable is like maybe
Mm.
1,000, $1,500 maybe. If it comes around that,
One
yeah,
thousand dollars?
I mean,
I don't think so.
that's why I said,
Normally, the things are way
right.
way expensive, way more expensive in other parts except US.
So you
So no, I don't think so.
So you can
It's the
actually
cost of an
see what
iPhone.
my
So
decision is. So I don't think I'm going to make a purchase of Vision Pro glasses. Number one reason is that if there is no adoption, I don't think there is any sense of like there is any it makes any sense of becoming a customer of that technology which doesn't have any adoption yet. So when there will be adoption, I think I will get into
mhm,
becoming a producer as well in that area. So I'll wait for that adoption first,
yeah,
and then I'll get into the creator side,
mhm,
not just as a consumer side. And that really interests me a lot.
yeah,
If there is a demand, actual demand, then you invest your time into it. If there is no demand, then
mhm,
just I think let's just wait for it. Let's just the world decide what they feel about using this technology.
mhm. Yeah. I'm agree with you. I'm actually was thinking early. Well, after the top of the sea, okay, maybe I would like to explore. I mean, make the investment on this and explore it, not just to consume it but also to make content, or
Yeah,
create applications on it. But well, a lot of things happen in the
right.
a few months, and no, I can't afford that. But then I just got curious and I went to the Apple store, and I tried to just pre-order in a way, just to to see the form. And I realized one thing. First is that they recommend you, or I don't know if it's mandatory, to use the Apple Store app
Okay,
in your iPhone, because they need to scan your head,
okay,
your face, because they will adapt the bands behind
I see.
your head. I think that's one thing. And second, and this is something really difficult. I don't know how they will manage that, but
Yeah.
I'm wearing
Oh
glasses,
yeah.
and I have tried, wearing some VRs in the past, like the MetaQuest and so. And the problem is that I cannot use my
Right.
glasses on it, right? So I need to put them away, take my glasses out, and I cannot see what is far away from me, and it's really inconvenient, right? I don't like to use it, and I got
Right.
a lot of other issues. But Apple decided to partnership with
Okay.
Saints, that is a
Okay.
company that make lens. But the thing is that you also need to pay for
Oh,
those lens. But since that my lens in my glasses in my case are a prescripted glasses are not like for fashion. Um, then I'm not sure. I mean, how they will know my prescription? So it's something that I need to go to the doctor, to figure that out. But I don't know. They're you know I don't know if it was like another $300 for that, and selling you the capacity that I am assuming that the 256 capacity will be garbage, and it will be like half of the storage already, just because the OS. But I don't know. But it's like at the end I thought, okay, let's select the maximum things, and it was like more than $400 before taxes, and it's like, ouch,
Yeah, that hurts.
that hurt.
That's true. I
I
mean,
don't know.
maybe a person who is just curious about technology will make a purchase of these classes, or maybe some creators who are hyped about
Yeah.
creating some content on it, or exploring it for that sake. They will definitely make
Yeah.
a purchase. Apart from that, I don't really find any reason,
Hmm.
reason, a real reason to buy it at this point of time. Even if I had money,
Yeah.
right? Even if I
Hmm.
had, you know, tons of
Yeah.
money to just make a purchase, I don't really think I would be that curious to make a purchase logically.
Yeah. There are a lot of things. I mean, we can consider this as
Yeah,
a beta product. The battery. We don't know exactly. 2 hours look promising, but at the end we know that that's normally a lie. So maybe it will be 1 hour of battery,
yeah.
which is nothing.
I think
Anyway,
that's
we will see
maybe
more.
maybe you'll
Yeah.
agree on this with me. Maybe this is our common opinion on buying anything new. Maybe like Apple comes up with new chips and new MacBook Pros each year, and uh, I don't think I will make a purchase when they release it and they open it for the purchase right after that, after some months. I don't really
Hmm.
go for that product which is newly released,
Yeah.
which has a new chip that Apple has integrated. I wait for
Hmm.
that product also for the next like 6, 7 months. When I get some reviews, then only I make that purchase.
Hmm.
I don't want to become the first customer
Yeah.
to experience the goods or bad.
You don't want to be you don't
Yeah,
want to be the beta tester,
yeah.
an expensive beta tester. Yeah,
So
yeah. It's like everything. I mean, when you're buying a car or a new cell
yeah,
phone or thing,
yeah.
yeah, anything, yeah, things might fail.
So
So.
that's how I think about buying anything, even for a course or book, right? We were talking about that before this particular topic. I try to look for the reviews. If there is
Mhm.
someone in my network who has made a purchase of that course or book or whatever learning material is that, I ask them if that is really helpful, if they are getting something out of it, and then I make that purchase. So that has been my
Mhm.
behavior in terms of being a customer, I guess.
Yeah, no, no, totally agree. So let's see the coming
Yeah.
reviews
Yeah,
about
I
this new
saw
technology, and let's see, all the.
some of the people in my network have actually made a purchase, a pre-order, and they are going to get it on February 2nd, I guess. So
Mhm.
looking forward to their tweets
Mm.
on 2nd of February.
Yeah. Everyone in my company is like, "Oh, now we need to, can we have our Vision Pro for testing it out? Why not?
That's a
Because
good way of
blah
buying it.
blah." And it's like, joking aside, yeah, yeah, yeah. Everyone is suspecting that. So let's see. I mean, it's
Yeah,
interesting technology, but let's see. The point that uh, I don't know, maybe in 5 years we can watch
right.
this conversation and we could say, okay,
Yeah.
we were totally wrong. We weren't so
I don't think we
visionaries
are
about
like
it.
just
So, but let's see.
discarding the idea of having Vision OS or Vision Pro glasses. I think we are just observing
Hmm.
it, sitting far away, that let's see how the world responds. We are not saying that it will fail or it will pass.
Yeah.
We just want to observe how it goes.
Hmm.
Because you just mentioned, like you hit the right
Yeah.
point, that if those glasses are not really comfortable at this point to wear over your, eyeglasses that you already have for the eyesight, then it's a big problem,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
right? And I think as far as its hardware side
Yeah.
is concerned, in terms of the comfortable thing that we are talking about, when these glasses will become as much
Hmm.
comfortable as your these glasses are, I think then it will be
Mhm.
a top notch product. If it will become this much easy to wear these glasses, you will not have to have a strap behind it and all of those things. I think then it will reach to the maturity level where anyone would not feel weird about wearing them as well,
Yeah, I think a lot of companies for many decades tried
like
to
that.
do something like
Yeah,
we have right now. So starting even from the Virtual
yeah,
Boy from Nintendo, that was a terrible you know mistake. But I mean, they tried it with a technology that was way ahead of their time, and even the Google
right,
Glasses. To me, it would be the perfect fit in the way that maybe you're wearing like a normal glasses, but just with
right.
an adaptation to see that content. But I mean, we didn't get
Exactly.
anything from that.
Let's
So
see.
let's see what happened, because yeah, we're expecting to play on that game. Your physio I don't know if I have to call it physiologically. I mean, your
Right,
body will react to that. It's not just that it's a thing ahead, or away from your body.
right,
It's on your body,
right.
and you know all the heat on
You
that.
remember those
So
Facebook
let's see. A
glasses
lot
for
of things
VR?
to discover.
There was a huge hype around, the whole
Yeah, yeah.
world will accept virtual reality and we will not be the same and we will, yeah, the
The
metaverse and all that.
metaverse.
It didn't really happen, right? We waited for 2 years and results are here. So I'm just thinking that
Yeah.
let's see. I will really hope as a developer that Vision OS works, people love it. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. The future will decide
Or
if we
wrong.
are right
Yeah.
or wrong, or let's see. But well, let's let's see the other
Yeah.
YouTubers
Oh,
about
I
it.
would definitely love to ask one question to you if you allow me. So
Yeah,
I would like
sure.
to ask you, in
Yeah,
today's
go ahead.
time, we are seeing a lot of AI things coming in, right, in our tech space. Apple hasn't really talked much about
Hmm.
AI yet in that way. Like they
Hmm.
have a lot of infrastructure, but
Yeah.
they haven't really released a
Hmm.
tool or anything like that yet. I have even talked about it.
Yeah.
So, what are you expecting out of Apple
Hmm.
this year for WW?
I honestly don't think they will talk anything related to AI. They used to. I mean, they don't like to do a
Mm-hmm.
trending to
Mm-hmm.
follow a trend, right? They
Right.
make their own trend, right? They don't go to the CES in Las Vegas. They don't go to anywhere. They make their own things, right? And they even are not calling the Apple Vision Pro VR. They are calling them
Right.
something different. And they are not calling AR thing. They are calling
Right.
spatial
I
computing.
read that. Yeah.
So, but it's the same, they just try to create their
Right.
own terminologies, and instead of using AI, they
Right.
use machine learning. And and to me, it's like, okay, it's a little bit more specific than AI, because AI
Yeah.
is a lot of things, um but I don't think I think they will innovate. They have innovated a lot with many things that maybe they
Mm-hmm.
don't call AI, but
Right.
they are AI in some way. Even now, for example, I'm just recording this with my iPhone
Wow.
unplugged, and I mean, the OS can detect that I have an
Right.
iPhone near to me, and they assume it's my camera, and I can use it, and I can other convenient things that we can just make assumptions that
Right.
they are there, but in fact, all of that you can consider them as an AI
True.
thing in some way. But right now, the people is that assuming that the AI is just a thing that will um, you know uh, from a prompt will
Yeah.
generate a response, or from a prompt will generate a picture or so, because it's a
True.
trend right now. But yeah, Apple is doing has a lot of papers and research about AI, machine learning, and things that are really interesting. So but they're doing their own way to differentiate
Yeah.
from the rest.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But I expecting from a miracle of Steve Jobs or so having Siri for real, because
Right.
Siri is
Right.
brainless, and it's like, come on, it's almost more than 10 years with the same
Right.
behavior, and it's like when I ask something, it's like I don't understand, but here is a page, and you can take a look. It's like, oh, come on,
I think Siri is a huge
seriously,
example of
yeah,
having machine learning and everything integrated into that. And as you just mentioned, Siri can
yeah.
become much more mature if Apple focuses on that. This, like, I'm really expecting something uh, in terms of this AI update in Siri this year. Siri can really become a real Siri this time. Let's see.
I think with the new technology, with the M chips or so, they are doing on device processing, and
Okay.
it's amazing. I'm, for example, playing
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 4 remake. That is
Mm-hmm.
a PS5 game, and I'm running it in my Mac. And technically, it doesn't have a
Okay.
graphic card, but it is so optimized that I can run it at full HD or so, and it is like I don't need a PS5. I can play it with it, but I can also I played some time ago trying to generate
Yeah.
3D models from images.
Right.
That is huge in terms of
Right.
computational demand, and I'm also expecting that with some machine learning on device, we'll have something
True.
like that pretty soon. So, and protecting your privacy and having
A better
a
Siri.
better city. Who knows?
Looking forward
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, sure. No, thanks for asking, Mayank. So, like I said, yeah, I think definitely we will have to have a coming session with
For
more
sure, we'll
more
do that.
discussion. So yeah, you're welcome to come next time. So and well, I think we run out of time, and we are in the end of this episode. But before leaving, I just would like to give you, Mayank, just a few words to the audience in case you have something to share. So, Mayank.
The only message that I have for people that are listening to this podcast this far is that after listening to everything that we just discussed, don't think much and just start doing. We stay in
Yeah.
that loop or deadlock of this thinking phase. So come out of that, start doing from tomorrow
Mhm,
itself or maybe today itself, and you will figure it out. You'll
mhm.
figure it out. Don't wait for Pit or me to tell you how you should go about something. So that's my message.
No. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Start doing now. So great. Thank you, Mayan, for all your time with us in this podcast. And yeah, again, hope you to
Thank you
have
so
you
much for
in the next
inviting me
one.
once again,
So
Pit.
pretty
And
soon.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed. Thank you for being a great host. Uh, and yeah, I'll be looking forward to join you once again in your Swift and Tips podcast. By the way, that's a really cool logo that you have.
Oh, thank you. Do you
This
mean
this watermark
yeah,
or
the
logo, whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah,
looks
yeah,
great.
the
It
watermark.
looks
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, man. So, well, that will be it then for this episode, everyone. So, if you remember, uh, like I said all the time, if you want to see more content about Swift and tips, you have the links in the description. You'll have also the links for to contact Mayank YouTube channel and other projects that he is running. And um, remember that all the episodes of Swift and Tip podcast are in my YouTube channel and also in the link. That will be it for me. So thank you so much and have a great day.